So it looks like Daniel Craig is going to be retiring from the James Bond moniker in the upcoming Bond 25 movie. And of course, it was leaked by a bunch of douchebags in the media. So we might as well tell you because I'm sure you've heard about it. They're reassigning the codename 007 to British actor Lashana Lynch, a black woman. So she will be the new 007. Now, of course, there are people who are really excited for this, and then there are people who are freaking out about this. I have my opinions on it, but you are the James Bond expert, so I'd like to hear your thoughts on this.
All right, well, first of all, I don't know if you know this, but there is a contingent of James Bond fans who cannot wrap their head around the idea that James Bond movies exist in the contemporary, right? But they think that because the James Bond films are one long saga, and that the man, James Bond, because he is played by different actors, they think that the man, James Bond, is a different guy each time who is given a code name of James Bond and a code number.
But that's not true.
That is not true.
No, James Bond is his real name.
James Bond is his name. Right. They all take place in the contemporary. It wouldn't make sense to give somebody a code name and a code number, right? like it doesn't.
Why?
It doesn't make sense. There is one character whose name is James Bond, and he is agent number 007. Okay, that's it.
Right,
and the Daniel Craig films are a reboot of the franchise as a whole.
Yeah, they all are. Basically all.
Let's
reboots.
just fucking cut that shit out. All right. Now, with James Bond retiring, and it makes sense, right? They have to replace that number. Like, there are 9 00 agents, and when one leaves or is killed, they have to replace the 00 agent.
Right, because, okay, this is an important distinction. I saw people online, because Lashana Lynch is a black woman, that they were all freaking out. No, James Bond's a black woman. James Bond's not black.
James Bond is not black. He's not. James Bond in this film will not be a black woman named James Bond.
Yeah,
what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense.
That makes about as much sense as his nephew being James Bond Jr. It didn't make sense on the cartoon either.
I like that show.
Yeah, of course you did. That's how much you love James Bond, that you enjoyed James Bond Jr.
It was the CW show before the CW shows came out. Like, it was him, he was the star, and then he had his own, crew of people to help him.
Oh, my God. Shut up.
He would always talk about his Uncle James. Like, all right, yo,
James
shut
Bond
up.
But there's also the James Bond Jr. cartoon.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I love that cartoon.
It's not good.
No, it isn't. It's
wow, dude, this is really not okay. Look at this Asian stereotype. It's like Ming the Merciless. Like, get out of here. Fuck out of here.
So yes, in this film, James Bond is still Daniel Craig. Lashana Lynch is not playing a character named James Bond.
Or is she? She's not.
She is going to play a character who is assigned
a woman name. She's Jamie Bond.
Right. She's going to be Jane Bond 007, right? She's going to be the new 007. Like, they've had 00 agents be killed on screen.
Yeah.
So
Alex Trevelyan was he was 006.
Right. 009 was killed in The Man with the Golden Gun. So, when one dies, you have to replace them. And that's the slot.
So, okay. So then there's another side to this, though. Which is, she's the 007 in this movie.
Yeah, guess what, folks?
She's not going to be the new James Bond.
She's not going to be the new James Bond. And she's probably going to die.
Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen.
She's probably going to die, guys. Like,
this is why I wish they hadn't spoiled this, because what the expectation is, okay? It is what is today's date? We're gonna predict the future. We're gonna do a fucking Johnny Carson like Kreskin the Magician shit. It's July 18th, 2019. The first weekend or second weekend after Bond 25 comes out, this will be the new narrative. If she dies in this movie, that they only put her there so that she could die. And they wouldn't allow her to be the new James Bond. But she's not the new James Bond. She's the new 007. 00 agents die in movies.
Right.
And I wish they hadn't spoiled this, because that is going to be the narrative that people are going to assume that somehow halfway through the movie, James Bond is going to retire and then she's going to be James Bond. And that's not how this movie is going to go. Right. James Bond is probably going to retire in the last 15 minutes of the movie. She's going to come on as 007. She's going to get fucking murdered. And then he's going to be like, I guess I'll come back out of retirement to fight the bad guys who took her down. That's probably what's going to happen, guys.
This is probably what's going to happen, right? James Bond will already have been retired.
Okay, that's
He will
fine.
already have been retired. He will see some sort of injustice happen, or, he's probably still friends with Moneypenny or whatever. He'll see some sort of, I kind of wish she was kind of moving up in his position, but given the way that she was a field agent and then killed him and then got demoted. But it would have been nice for her to move up.
Yeah, she straight got, that's right. He got shot off a train.
Yeah. But he'll probably come back and be like, all right, I kind of missed his life. Let me back in. And Ralph Fiennes would be like, no, bro, we got a new 007. Allow me to show you Jane Bond.
Jane Bond.
And
her niece, Jane Bond Jr.
So I think something like that is going to happen. Look, I haven't really thought about how this is going to work yet, but I'm excited for it. And look, I think guest agents and stuff like this, they don't usually last too long in these movies.
No, they do not.
But let's hope against hope, right? Like that this character will be alive at the end of this movie and, want to continue onward.
Now, the question is, does it happen that she remains alive in this movie? Bond comes back. He regains she's the 007 agent. Bond comes back through whatever circumstance. He's like, yo, I need my old jersey. Like,
how much you want for that number?
Right. Like, so he's like, he takes the 007 moniker back. Like, here's how it probably will work. He'll save her. And she'll be like, you're the true 007. And he's like, that's okay. You're 006, right? Or 008 or whatever. And then she's in the next movie with a new actor as James Bond who's 007, but she's 008 or whatever.
I think
I could see that happen.
I think what they're going to do is James Bond will get his 007 number back and they will spin her off into her own film franchise.
Do you think that's going to...
That was the plan for Halle Berry's character.
Oh.
That was the plan. Now, people really didn't take to that movie.
Yo.
They really didn't take
Are you fucking kidding me?
There were talks of having Jinx be spun off.
But she wasn't an
into their
MI6
own
franchise.
No, but a new franchise that can run parallel, because look, it's all about getting dollars. It's all about.
Look, I ain't mad about it.
Right. So you got your crybaby white people who are not all white people, just the crybaby white people who want James Bond to be a white guy, even if that guy was blonde. Now you like him, but before you didn't until he came on, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, turns
out that it's okay, and it doesn't fucking matter. And then you get a whole new class. You get a whole new group of people.
Yeah, we're all into this now.
Right. And
so what is this one? This is 008?
I don't know what you would call her. I haven't kind of made the movie in my head yet. But you can't none of the other 00s sound like they don't hit the ear right. Like 007, you've heard it so much.
Yeah, it just sounds cool.
Yeah, it sounds cool. Nobody wants to be 001.
Nah,
002, 003, 004, 005, 006, 008, 009. It
008 is all right. Like, it's all right. But yeah, I agree with you. 007 just sounds cool just because that's what you say all the time. Now, that being said, okay, she gets her own franchise, which would be dope, right?
Right.
Like, that would be fucking interesting, right? A parallel Jane Bond franchise.
Right.
That they keep switching in and out black women, like, going forward.
Yeah. Why not?
Why not? You could do it.
Why not? And they can team. That can be how they make their own little James Bond shared universe or whatever. You know what I mean? Instead of trying to. That's a pretty slick move. Right. Like, instead of trying to retroactively create like a universe like they did with the Daniel Craig films.
Right.
Like, they can do that. They have the potential to do that right now.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea, actually. I don't hate that. That's actually a pretty good idea. It will be interesting to see how people react, because I did see a lot of just knucklehead, oh, James Bond, black woman now. Oh, I'm angry.
Right. That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Also, I don't like the idea of having her. I want her to be her own person, because, like, some people are like, yeah, James Bond should be a woman. No, James Bond shouldn't be. You know why? Because a lot of James Bond's bullshit is an arcane.
Right. You're a sexist, misogynist dinosaur. Like that's but
that's who he is.
Right.
He shouldn't be some, like, woke guy. Like, no, I think we should treat women not as sexual objects.
That's his character. That's his flaw, guys.
Right. Like, that's who he is.
That's his character.
I don't want woke James Bond. I don't. I want people to be like, you're a fucking dick, and he'd be like, no, but like, are we fucking?
Would you want this dick though?
Yeah, because it's like his response, and they're just like, "You're right. God damn it, James Bond, you're so charming." Yeah, he's supposed to be a dinosaur. That's the point.
Right.
Is that he is a dinosaur in this modern world that is always moving just a second faster than him.
Right.
Like, he's always trying to keep up. And that's what it should be. Having a woman, especially a woman of color, coming in to then take on the persona of this guy who's like this sexual asshole. Like, that doesn't make sense. And look, quiet as it's kept. You don't want a woman acting like James Bond. You really don't. No, you might want a super spy badass.
You want a badass, yeah,
and that's fine. And I got no problem with that.
You don't want a prick, yo.
Like, you don't.
You really don't want a prick.
No, because if it was Jane Bond and she acted exactly like James Bond, people would hate that character, dude. Women and men are not seen as, it's not fair, but they're not seen as the same. Like, there's not, like, women having sex with a bunch of men are seen as whores, right? And it's not fair, and it's stupid in its arcane viewpoint. But men sleeping with a bunch of women are seen as, like, virile and shit like that. So you can't just go, well, we're just going to ignore that and just put that in the movie. No, they'd be like, yo, why is Jane Bond just sucking dick all over England?
Right,
shit is wild.
Right. Like, you have to write for that character.
Right.
Everything about that character, man.
Right.
Like,
exactly. So, yeah, I like this idea, though. I like the idea of giving her own franchise, and from time to time, they link up. I like that idea. That's kind of cool.
So,
all right. Not bad.
We'll see.
So, you heard it here. James Bond is a black woman now. Next, you're watching the Nerdpocalypse YouTube channel. Make sure you click that button to subscribe and check out our weekly podcast where we talk about movie, TV, news, tech, and weird stories from around the internet.